Ethical principles in business are not materially different from ethical principles in general because businesses' actions have to be judged in the context of society's standards of right and wrong. There is not a special set of rules that business people decide to apply to their own conduct. Business ethics involves the application of general ethical principles to the actions and decisions of businesses and the conduct of their personnel. While most company managers are careful to ensure that a company's strategy is within the bounds of what is legal, evidence indicates that they're not always so careful to ensure that their strategies are within the bounds of what's considered ethical. There are three main drivers of unethical business behavior that stand out. Let's take a look. It begins with faulty oversight, enabling an unscrupulous pursuit of personal gain and other selfish interests. People who are obsessed with wealth accumulation, greed, power, status, and other selfish interests often push ethical principles aside for their quest of personal gain. Driven by their ambitions, they exhibit few qualms in striking the rules or doing whatever's necessary to achieve their own goals. A general disregard for business ethics can prompt all kinds of unethical strategic maneuvers and behaviors at organizations. Then there's the heavy pressures on company managers to meet or beat performance targets. When key personnel find themselves scrambling to meet the quarterly or annually sales and profit expectations, they often feel enormous pressure to do whatever it takes to protect their reputation for delivering good results. As the pressure builds, they start stretching the rules further and further until the limits of ethical conduct are overlooked. Finally, a company culture that puts profitability and good business performance ahead of ethical behavior. When a company's culture spawns an ethically corrupt or amoral work climate, people have the company-approved license to ignore what's right and engage in most any behavior they think they can get away with. Such cultural norms as everyone else does it and it's okay to bend the rules and to get the job done permeate the work environment. Such companies, ethically immoral or amoral people, are certain to play down observance of ethical strategic actions and business conduct. Moreover, cultural pressures to utilize unethical means if circumstances become challenging can prompt otherwise honorable people to behave unethically. So it's incumbent on strategic managers to recognize conditions that give rise to unethical business strategies and behavior. While it's undoubtedly true that unethical business behavior may sometimes contribute to higher company profits, deliberate pursuit of unethical strategies and tolerance of unethical conduct are risky practices from both a shareholder perspective and a reputational standpoint. Shareholders suffer major damage when a company's unethical behavior is discovered and punished. Making amends for unethical business conduct is costly, and it takes years to rehabilitate a tarnished company reputation. The fallout of ethical misconduct on the part of a company goes well beyond just the costs of making amends for misdeeds. A company's unethical behavior risks considerable damage to shareholders in the form of lost revenues, higher costs, lower profits, lower stock prices, and a diminished business reputation. To a significant degree, therefore, ethical strategies and ethical conduct are good business. Notions of right and wrong, fair and unfair, moral and immoral, ethical and unethical are present in all societies, organizations, and individuals. But there are three schools of thought about the extent to which the ethical standards travel across cultures and whether multinational companies can apply the same set of ethical standards in all the locations where they operate. Let's take a look. According to the school of ethical universalism, the same standards of what's ethical and what's unethical resonate with peoples in most societies, regardless of local traditions and cultural norms. Hence, common ethical standards can be used to judge employee conduct in a variety of country markets and cultural circumstances. According to the school of ethical relativism, different societal cultures and customs create divergent standards of right and wrong. Thus, what is ethical or unethical must be judged in light of local customs and social mores, and can vary from one culture or nation to another. According to the integrative social contracts theory, universal ethical principles based on collective views of multiple cultures combine to form a social contract that all employees in all country markets must have a duty to observe. Within the boundaries of this social contract, there is room for host country cultures to exert some influence in setting their own moral and ethical standards. However, first-order universal ethical norms always take precedent over second-order local ethical norms in circumstances in which the local ethical norms are more permissive. It's important for strategic managers to gain an understanding of the cost of business ethical failures and understand how ethics transcends culture. Social responsibility refers to a company's duty to operate in an honorable manner, provide good working conditions for employees, encourage workforce diversity, be a good steward of the environment, and actively work to better the quality of life in the local communities in which it operates and society at large. The essence of socially responsible business behavior is that a company should balance strategic actions to benefit shareholders against the duty to be a good corporate citizen. The underlying thesis that a company managers should display a social conscience in operating the business and specifically consider how management decisions and company actions affect the well-being of employees, local communities, the environment, and society at large. Corporate social responsibility programs involve the following: efforts to employ an ethical strategy and observe ethical principles in operating the business. A sincere commitment to observing ethical principles is a necessary component of a social responsibility strategy simply because unethical conduct is incompatible with the concept of good corporate citizenship and socially responsible business behavior. Making a difference through charitable contributions, supporting community service endeavors, and reaching out to make a difference in the lives of the disadvantaged. Some companies fulfill these obligations by spreading their efforts over a multitude of charitable and community activities. Actions to protect the environment, and in particular to minimize or eliminate any adverse impact on the environment stemming from the company's own business activities. Social responsibility as it applies to environmental protection entails striving to be good stewards of the environment. Actions to create a work environment that enhances the quality of life for employees. Socially responsible companies exert extra effort to enhance the quality of life for employees, both at work and at home. Actions to build a workforce that is diverse with respect to gender, race, national origin, and other aspects that different people bring to the workplace. Most large companies in the United States have established workforce diversity programs, and some go the extra mile to ensure that their workplaces are attractive to ethnic minorities and inclusive of all groups and perspectives. A company's social responsibility strategy is defined by the specific combination of socially beneficial activities it opts to support with its contributions of time, money, and other resources. Sustainable business practices are those that meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability to meet the needs of the future. Environmental sustainability involves deliberate actions to protect the environment, provide for the longevity of natural resources, maintain ecological support systems for future generations, and guard against the ultimate endangerment of the planet. Companies that take social responsibility seriously can improve their business reputations and operational efficiency while also reducing their risk exposure and encouraging loyalty and innovation.